Paracelsus. Paracelsus, born Theophrastus von Hohenheim, 1493 to 1541, was a Swiss physician, alchemist, and philosopher whose innovative approaches to medicine and the natural world laid the foundation for modern chemistry and medicine. Though his contributions to the scientific community are well known, Paracelsus also delved deeply into mysticism, esotericism, and the occult sciences. Among his many influences, Cabala, the Jewish mystical tradition, played a significant role in shaping his worldview and practice. This essay will explore the extent of Paracelsus' involvement with Cabala, examining the relationship between his alchemical practices, the Kabbalistic principles, and his esoteric worldview. To understand Paracelsus' connection to Cabala, it is essential first to briefly examine his life and intellectual influences. Paracelsus was a polymath, known for his radical ideas in medicine, chemistry, and philosophy. He rejected the traditional medical practices of his time, especially those of Galen and Avicenna, and promoted a more experimental approach to healing that incorporated the use of chemicals and minerals. He believed that the human body was connected to the cosmos, and that healing required an understanding of both physical and spiritual elements. Paracelsus was also a student of alchemy, astrology, and mysticism. These disciplines, often intertwined in the Renaissance period, shaped his approach to medicine and the natural world. He was known to use astrology and the correspondences between the planets and human health in his medical practice. Moreover, Paracelsus believed in the spiritual dimensions of healing, which led him to explore esoteric traditions, including Cabala. The influence of Cabala on Renaissance thought. During the Renaissance, there was a resurgence of interest in esoteric knowledge, including alchemy, astrology, and Cabala. Jewish Kabbalists, such as Isaac Luria and his disciples, were at the forefront of the mystical revival during this period, though Kabbalistic ideas also reached beyond the Jewish community and became influential in Christian mysticism. Christian Kabbalists, such as Johannes Reuchlin and Pico della Mirandola, were among the key figures in introducing Cabala to a wider audience. These figures explored Kabbalistic concepts through a Christian lens, seeing the tradition as a way to understand the divine order of creation and the relationship between God and humanity. The influence of Cabala on Renaissance thinkers was profound, and it is likely that Paracelsus encountered these ideas through his associations with Christian Kabbalists. Cabala provided a symbolic and mystical framework for understanding the universe, which resonated with Paracelsus' holistic approach to medicine and alchemy. Cabala and alchemy. Paracelsus' integration of mystical principles. One of the primary ways in which Paracelsus was influenced by Cabala was through his engagement with alchemical symbolism and principles. Both alchemy and Cabala share an interest in the transformation of the self and the cosmos, and their focus on the spiritual dimension of existence provides a common ground for synthesis. In Cabala, the concept of tikkun, rectification, is central. It refers to the idea that the world and the soul are in a state of disrepair, and that they must undergo a process of spiritual healing or transformation. Similarly, alchemy is often described as the transformation of base metals into gold, but this material transformation is seen as symbolic of the spiritual transformation of the alchemist. Paracelsus believed that the process of alchemical transmutation was not merely physical, but also spiritual, and that the soul could be refined and perfected through alchemical practices. This idea parallels Kabbalistic teachings on the purification and ascent of the soul. In his alchemical writings, Paracelsus often used the symbolism of the four elements, earth, air, fire, and water, which also appears in Kabbalistic thought. In Cabala, the elements are associated with the four worlds of creation, Atzilut, the world of emanation, Bariah, the world of creation, Yetzirah, the world of formation, and Asiya, the world of action. These correspondences were important for Paracelsus, who saw the human body as a microcosm of the universe. Just as the four elements interact and transform in the external world, they also interact within the human body, influencing health, disease, and spiritual well-being. The tree of life and the path of healing. Another crucial element of Cabala that influenced Paracelsus was the tree of life, Aureolus, a diagram representing the 10 Sephirot, divine emanations through which God interacts with the world. The Sephirot are arranged in 3 columns. The right column represents divine mercy, the left column represents divine severity, and the middle column represents balance or harmony. These emanations are not merely abstract concepts but are seen as archetypes of divine energy that flow into the world. Paracelsus' understanding of healing was deeply connected to the balance of spiritual and material energies. He believed that the body, mind, and spirit were interconnected, and that healing required restoring balance between these forces. In this sense, Paracelsus' approach to healing mirrors the Kabbalistic understanding of the Sephirot. Healing involves restoring the flow of divine energy through the various levels of existence from the material world to the spiritual realms. Just as the Sephirot represent a ladder of divine light, the process of healing, for Paracelsus, involves ascending from the physical to the spiritual realm and restoring harmony between the two. The role of divine names in Paracelsus' mystical practice. The use of divine names is a central practice in Cabala, where specific divine names are invoked to influence the spiritual realms and achieve certain outcomes, such as healing, protection, or illumination. These names are believed to contain powerful spiritual energies that can be accessed through proper ritual and intention. Paracelsus incorporated the use of divine names into his own alchemical and healing practices. Though he did not explicitly follow the Jewish Kabbalistic tradition, he was influenced by the idea that certain words and names had mystical power. Paracelsus believed in the power of words of power or incantations to effect change in the world. In his alchemical writings, he often described the use of specific sounds, names, and symbols to invoke divine assistance in the process of healing and transformation. These techniques, though not identical to Kabbalistic methods, bear striking similarities to the use of divine names in Cabala, where specific letters and combinations are believed to hold spiritual potency. Paracelsus and the Kabbalistic angelic realm. Angels played an important role in both Paracelsus' alchemical work and Kabbalistic mysticism. In Cabala, angels are seen as spiritual intermediaries between the divine and the earthly realms, each associated with specific functions or qualities. For instance, the archangels Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel are often invoked for protection, healing, and guidance. Paracelsus, too, believed in the power of angelic beings and spiritual entities. He wrote extensively about the need to work with spiritual beings to bring about healing and transformation. In his alchemical and medical practices, Paracelsus frequently invoked angels for their assistance in curing diseases, especially those that were deemed spiritual or psychological in nature. While he did not adopt a Kabbalistic framework for his angelology, his belief in the existence and influence of spiritual beings aligns with Kabbalistic thought on the role of angels in the divine order. Paracelsus' influence on Western esotericism. Paracelsus' work in the realms of alchemy, astrology, and medicine had a profound impact on the development of Western esotericism, which includes various traditions like Theosophy, Hermeticism, and Rosicrucianism. Many of these traditions were influenced by Kabbalistic ideas, and Paracelsus' contributions to these movements helped to bridge the gap between medieval and Renaissance thought and the mystical practices that would shape the modern esoteric worldview. The syncretic nature of Paracelsus' work, drawing from Christian mysticism, alchemy, astrology, and Cabala, made him a key figure in the development of Western occult traditions. His integration of spiritual and material realms, his use of mystical rituals, and his belief in the transformative power of divine energies found resonance in the Kabbalistic teachings that were emerging during his time. Paracelsus' involvement with Cabala, while not explicitly documented in the same way as other Kabbalistic thinkers, is evident in the mystical and esoteric practices he incorporated into his alchemical and medical work. The influence of Kabbalistic principles, such as the purification of the soul, the use of divine names, the importance of balance and harmony in the natural world, and the spiritual ascent through the Sephirot, can be traced in his teachings. His approach to healing, which blends the physical and the spiritual, resonates with the Kabbalistic worldview, where the material and divine realms are deeply interconnected. In summary, Paracelsus' esoteric worldview was undoubtedly shaped by a wide range of mystical traditions, including Cabala, which provided a foundation for his alchemical practices and medical theories. While he was not a formal adherent of Cabala, the influence of Kabbalistic thought on his work is undeniable, and understanding this connection offers valuable insights into both his mystical practices and the development of Western esotericism as a whole. Paracelsus, the Swiss physician, alchemist, and mystic, is known for his revolutionary contributions to medicine, natural philosophy, and esoteric thought. While he did not directly write a systematic treatise on Cabala, his works reflect influences from Kabbalistic, Hermetic, and Neoplatonic traditions, which were popular in Renaissance esotericism. Paracelsus' understanding of Cabala was likely filtered through Christian Kabbalists like Johannes Reuchlin and Pico della Mirandola, who integrated Jewish mystical ideas into Christian theology. Paracelsus and Cabala. Key themes. 1. The divine structure of the universe. Paracelsus saw the universe as structured according to divine principles, echoing Kabbalistic ideas of creation through the Sephirot, divine emanations. He believed in a macrocosm-microcosm relationship, where humans reflect the divine structure of the cosmos, similar to the Kabbalistic Adam-Kadmon, primordial man. 2. The power of the word and divine names. In Cabala, divine creation is linked to the Hebrew letters and the ineffable names of God. Paracelsus wrote about the magical power of words, incantations, and divine names, believing they could channel divine energies for healing and transformation. 3. Alchemy and the transformation of the soul. Like Kabbalists, Paracelsus viewed alchemy as not just a physical process, but a spiritual purification. He believed that metals, like souls, undergo stages of refinement, mirroring the Kabbalistic process of tikkun, rectification. 4. Angelic and astral influences. Paracelsus wrote about spiritual beings, angels, and celestial intelligences, concepts found in both Cabala and Christian mysticism. His idea of astral forces influencing human destiny is reminiscent of Kabbalistic teachings on the Sephirot as cosmic channels of divine energy. Paracelsus' possible Kabbalistic influences. Johannes Reuchlin, a major Christian Kabbalist who argued that Cabala contained hidden truths about Christ. Paracelsus likely encountered his works. Pico della Mirandola integrated Cabala into Renaissance philosophy, emphasizing divine names and mystical ascent. Alchemy and Cabala, both traditions emphasize the transformation of matter and spirit, a theme central to Paracelsus' teachings. While Paracelsus was not a Kabbalist in the traditional sense, his writings reflect Kabbalistic influences, particularly in his views on the divine structure of the cosmos, the power of words, alchemy as spiritual transformation, and angelic forces. His esoteric thought stands as a bridge between Hermeticism, Christian Cabala, and early modern science.